Shifting focus away from that, good news for home buyers across the country. Home loan EMIs under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for middle income groups are set to become cheaper. This means home buyers can avail a subsidy of over 2,000 rupees per month on home loans of 9 lakh rupees and 12 lakh rupees. Middle income groups, which fall under the bracket of annual incomes between 6 lakh rupees and 18 lakh rupees, are eligible for the interest subsidy. The National Housing Bank has now signed MOUs with 154 primary lending institutions to implement this scheme. My colleague Amita Balachandra caught up with Sriram Kalyanaraman, Managing Director and CEO of the National Housing Board. Listen to this conversation.
Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, tell us about the MOUs that you have signed. And this is very interesting considering the middle income group has also been involved in this dream of building houses by 2022.
See, the MOUs we signed about 65 in, the MOU we signed about 65 in Delhi, and today I'm told about 37, including a small finance bank. So, which is the first time we are signing with a small finance bank. It shows the interest that the entire financing community, and I see a lot of members from CREDA and MCHI here, so it shows both the supply side and the demand side coming together, which was always a challenge earlier. So we think a lot of things would take off on this. As I gave the data, if you cut the data which has come in, I see a possibility of even about 6 to 7 lakhs units as an opportunity on the subsidy in next 8 to 10 months.
Also, how do you envision housing for all by 2022 by the government? Because that is a very steep target, and we have a lot of houses to build in all of the states. So how do you envision that target?
See, I am saying when the Prime Minister said the housing for all goal, it also included the private sector. People just need not compare with the 20 lakh houses or 19 lakh houses done by who part to this, because that is one part of it. There is a huge private sector which is coming in. So what happens even if we probably fall short by 10-15%, we are at the 85th percentile or 98th percentile, it is still a very, very great initiative. So I think it's going well, and it would have its inflection point with this kind of things, initiatives like this. It will accelerate much faster.
See, it is the government that has taken this initiative. I would imagine that the middle income class or the middle income group had been waiting for a very, very long time. So they do not really need to be encouraged. In fact, they would be much more encouraged by the fact that the government has taken this initiative, which perhaps earlier was not anywhere in the offing. And I would believe that this is one of those few major initiatives which is of a kind which is the first in the world.
Also tell me this now, when you talk about housing for all by 2022, that is a very steep target that you have set. What is the government doing to fast track this process to get more states to get involved?
Assuming that the target would be anywhere between 1 crore and 1.5 crore maybe, or a little less, more or less, even then it's a very, very steep target. No gainsaying that it is not a target. But there would be three things we would be looking at it very, very closely. One is the very fact that we should have the political willingness to initiate such a scheme, which is very much there, and the progress that we've achieved in sanctioning of these houses and in approving both by the state governments and the central government, it starts at about 18 lakhs today, roughly the figure. So we have done much, much better compared to earlier schemes. I do not want to criticize, there is no aspect of criticism, but the fact of the matter is that JNU achieved a target of about 12 lakh houses, some of which are still getting made in about a decade or so plus.
Okay, last question to you. In the state of Maharashtra, we know that they've identified about 134 hectares of land. We heard Mada talk to us about that. But when we talk about building houses at a massive scale as this, are you also getting all of the states involved at the same time and do this process simultaneously, or you've identified only a couple of states first, or you're doing it in phases?
No, all these states are part of the mission, and Maharashtra, of course, is doing well. But there are states which are performing much, much better. Say, for example, Maharashtra, which is, say, for example, Madhya Pradesh, which is doing much, much better. Tamil Nadu, they are moving at a rapid pace, and they have identified land, their contributions are in order, and there is a sense of competitive rivalry also amongst the states, and therefore PMAY is one of those schemes Maharashtra should look at in a very, very close manner, and also the private participation. We are looking at Maharashtra in a very big way. I was just having a word there are a couple of proposals. They are thinking upon sending it to the government. So we will have a very close look at it and try and help in all possible ways.